Hi guys, this is on Checkmate Vanguard here. We are here with Kelvin. Kelvin's got us a Spectral Duke V deck profile for us. He nobly went 5-1 by himself alone on his team on day 2 of V Rosemont. But his team also went 4-2 and they got 15th place.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just going to run through his deck and kind of see why he became the meme of the day. And just, well, more than just the meme of the day. What is Pellinore, I guess? Could be
Yeah.
what the deck's called, not Spectral Duke, but we're gonna go right into it.
The actual name of the deck profile is White Bunny Jump Scare.
White bunny jump scare. Alright, you can just get right into the meat and potatoes here.
Alright. So we made Criff the starter mostly for the mind game. Am I playing Ezel? Am I playing Gurglet? Who knows? This is just like the go-to. For a minute. 4 of our fun boss card, Spectral Duke. Nice little limit break ability, and he's also treats this deck defensively as a force deck. Swing for 2 crit every turn is just really nice if you're going second. And if they push you far enough, you restand with an extra drive, so you go from 2 to 5 checks.
With no opponent restriction, right? It just goes gas, or does it have a restriction?
For the crit and the power, like the extra 1k, you have to have the grade 2 Mortimer in the soul. Otherwise, your deck kind of loses all of its potential.
Okay.
There's no pressure with him other than that. If you miss your grade 2 ride, it just hurts. It hurts too much.
Okay.
And the deck loses a lot.
And then
we
the cards you
have-
shouldn't be riding first.
Yeah, the card you shouldn't be riding first is Reverse, Spectral Dupe Reverse. If you get pushed to 5, this is like the go-to card, or if you have enough Excel circles on board, then you just actually hard ride this on top of regular Duke, because his normal restand isn't once per turn. So as long as you're able to lock 3, you can keep restanding him, and he always has that extra 10k in a crit while he's in soul. We had a good friend here that learned that the hard way.
Yeah. And then White Bunny jump scare himself, I guess? Not yet.
We actually played 2 Full Cavalier. When testing this deck, I always had a hard way of getting that extra card out, and Full Cavalier was just the way to do it. You have so much excess soul that it's actually fine, and it powers up both of these.
Okay.
And now for the MVP himself, this 4-year-old monstrosity, White Hairs and Shadow Pellinore.
Would he just magically come to your hand? Or would they just forget you searched it off a grade 3 search or anything like that? Or just like...
I never got this off a grade 3 search.
So you always hard drew it, so they never knew.
I always hard drew it, and they never saw it. In the games where I thought, like, okay, it's not going to come up, it either hit damage or it was always just early pitch fodder. So we learned with this deck you can just get 4 Vanguard swings, and that's how I won my rounds 2 and 4.
So you're gonna get a 2 alone from Spectral Duke. Doesn't care about what damage you're at, but he cares that if you're at 5.
Yeah. So the order that with this, how it would always come up, it would be regular Duke with his 2 swings.
Right.
And the common scenario that would happen was my opponent was at 3 because he's swinging with 2 crit. They don't want to risk you pulling that extra crit and then just losing immediately. So I'll always have 1 or 2 rear guards just kind of up there, and I'll always feed them the trigger power if I have to. And they'll take it from time to time because no one expects this.
Except everyone at locals that knew through testing.
Yeah, that's the thing. This deck was really hard to play during locals because everybody knew about this card. But I went into Rosemont with the full knowledge that nobody is gonna think, yeah, someone's playing this.
You were the only realistic Spectral Duke player in the room, right? For the most part, I didn't see any other Duke players.
I didn't see any. I didn't hear any. This is just what happened. You could hear me in round 2 popping off because that's when the first time I did this, I actually just confused my opponent who just actively went, what the fuck? As soon as I just slammed this on the board. And that was against Melody, actually.
And they barely can handle that.
Yeah, I went second, and on my first grade 3 turn, everything just
aligned.
The stars aligned perfectly. Everything just came down.
So the full 4 Vanguard swings and just killed him.
Yeah, so we swung with this. He was at 3. He was at 5, sorry, after the Duke swing.
It's just
I can't get my math right. Sorry, he was at 4.
Okay.
Thought, okay, this is done. He's at 5. He doesn't have reverse. He's not doing it. But my knowledge was, if I go into reverse, he's just going to be able to stop it. I only had 3 cards left on the board. It wasn't going to happen. So I went in thinking, okay, if one of these hits, and it did, we just go into Pellinore. And because of that, he had to throw down an extra card to guard, just because if I pull the trigger, it's gonna kill him. So I was able to rip out 1 more card out of his hand, and because I was at 5, I was able to lock those last 3 and go into reverse, because reverse doesn't care
which Vanguard you're on.
It doesn't care what Vanguard you're on. So I was at 5 and just went into this. Naturally swing with 22k with a crit. He's got 1 card in hand, he can't stop it.
Right.
And that's how we get 4 Vanguard. You get 2 off of this, you get the 1 off of Duke, or off of Pellinore, and then 2 off of this. And that's roughly 10 extra cards in your hand for that whole turn.
And plus, for clarity, you do only Excel 2. You don't do Excel 1 and screw with numbers.
No, I don't want to do Excel 1.
All right.
I need the C cards.
All right.
Killing 3 every turn, it's kind of hard to recuperate from that.
Right. That's why there's no Excel markers around. It's always assumed it's Excel 2.
Yeah,
so.
with most of these decks nowadays, or most Excel decks, that's just all I say. So for the
grade 2s, which is, like you said, you have to write grade 2 Vortimer.
You have to see this. If you do not see this, you lose all of your pressure from regular Duke. You don't get the crit, you don't get the extra 1k, which matters a lot. You're just kind of flopping there until you see this. And then we play 3 Kaiden. I like the whole Kaiden combo there. Getting the extra draw off of the combination from this is really helpful. And if I use that CB and I eventually just find this, he's a countercharger on rearguard. When I kill it for Duke, helps out a lot. This is also 10k base if I have the grade 1 Vortimer, so...
Yeah, I gotta admit, the combo between the 2 chain cards are really good overall. They're very good to keep you drawing and keep you going, because you don't spend anything on CV besides Spectral Duke. So.
It's just Duke. It's both Duke's Pellinore when it comes up. Otherwise,
it's refunded through Vortimer though.
Yeah, it's always
so he's important.
Yeah. And the promo that just came out, good old Canarius.
A Gargaway card.
Yeah, this.
But it essentially gets another free body.
It gets me a free body, and I also get the stack bomb my deck. And if they're mostly triggers, I always want to call this first, and then if I have this, I'll just call it, just to shuffle all that back in. Being a nice 10k shield and 14k body, 19 on Excel. Also the nice little guard power you get from intercepting with it, which also got me a couple PGs throughout the game.
Because it's one put, it's not one place.
Yeah, it's one put, which matters a lot. So if I just intercept with it, I'll be able to look at those cards.
Gotcha. And then
the discard hurts from time to time, but
it's equalized.
Yeah, you gotta move it over.
And grade 1s, right?
Yep. Grade 1 Vortimer. This surprisingly wasn't the ride for most of the day.
What was your ride?
I'll get there in a second.
All right.
And it wasn't by choice. I just didn't see it.
Okay.
But it's always nice to have on the board at least. If I'm missing the pieces, I'll write it. But I went in mostly assuming that I was going to fight Lord all day, so I kind of had... I have a card in here that's a 2-of that surprisingly came up. We'll get there in a second. But when he dies, it gets 5k to Duke. That's what matters the most. Grade 3 Searcher.
Because you gotta find Duke.
I gotta find either Duke. That is a problem. I fought Jewel Knights, Luard, and Yasui, which all of those pushed me to 5, fairly quickly. Yasui was actually the game I lost to. It came down to me needing a trigger. I didn't get it. But if I didn't find her, I needed this to find reverse, and I got it. So this just helps a lot. It's also a nice 13k body.
Right. Okay. And then
we play 3 Hoel. This is the boy you always throw behind Duke. He becomes a nice 18, 23k when the turn you ride it. And in combination with the multiple re-rides, so 23, 22, 32 with the crit. It's always nice to see. Hoel, I need to see this on the board just so I can keep that power the same.
Okay.
And the 2-of that we hard rode against our Luard matchup, Dindrain. I was
7k.
The nice 7k body. it was either between this and Josephus, and that was kind of the area I was really debatable on. Josephus has a nice on-ride skill, but his on-place is only from deck, but then again, that's only where I'm calling. The problem is, if I want to draw the card, which is the only thing I wanted to do with him, because I had all my CD face up, for Josephus, you have to Soul Blast 2 to get the draw, and you waste a counter charge. With Dindrain, if I see her at least, I can choose. But the main reason we chose her instead of Josephus, other than that, was, oddly enough, to misride. And this is where we won our Luard matchup.
Because you're able to stay on 12 versus 13, so then you can damage deny or...
Actually, what happened was, we rode Dindrain. I did actually have this in hand, but I just called it.
Okay.
So our board was like this. I'm not sure if this works properly, but we're on Dindrain, and we just threw him in the back. So we just feed this triggers. So I swing at 7 into an 8. Actually, I kept it here. Like, this one was has to be for a while.
That's your center back, I got you.
Yeah. So we swing at 7 and just feed triggers here. They're at 8, it doesn't hit.
You prevent them from using
I prevent them from doing Leofall. Then we ride into grade 2 Warmer. Because we didn't ride grade 1, it's not in Soul, he's now a 9k base. Same situation, I swing 9 into 10, I damage choked him. Their grade 3 turn was ride regular Luard, call 2 drivers and pass. They had nothing going for them. And that was the whole point of
and then you're able to start playing with all your tempo.
Yep, and I out tempoed him, and that's what happened. We also got Pellinore off in that game, and that won us the match again.
Pretty smart.
Yep.
Is that all the grade ones?
That is all the grade ones.
All right, we can kind of go through the triggers real quick.
Yeah, for triggers, this is where like the hard thing came in. I'll probably get judged for this. We played 10 crits.
Just 10.
Just 10. 10 crits, 4 draw, and 2 heals.
But no, like you said though in your testing, you kept healing out of kill range because of heals.
Yeah, It actually happened in the Jewel Knight matchup, which made it really rough. I was at 4, pulled the heal, I went back to 3, I lost those 2 extra drive checks and kind of just minused off of it, or broke even. I'm not sure what the actual term is for that. And the reason I play the grade 3s as opposed to the other one, if I'm going second, I want to see these. I have Gorbit up to find them. This is also a common call off of my searches, because like I'm at 4 or I'm at 5. I don't want to see this. I don't want to get knocked out of reverse. And I don't want to get knocked out of Duke. I need this out of the deck.
Okay.
But overall, the games were pretty nice. Like they were pretty rough. I learned how hard Yasui hits the hard way.
Besides the premium version.
Yeah, besides the premium version. That's a whole.
But I'm the only memester that plays such a dumbass deck.
Yeah, it's really hard to stop like 9+ attacks in Yasui.
Yeah, it's what you expect from the one person that plays Yasui in the room. So.
Yeah, but they were all pretty nice people that I played against. They were all real sportsmen, like, except for one of the Luard guys who just kept like, "It's my turn, right? Nope, you let the guy hit Pellinore."
Yeah.
Like, I have 2 CB, I have cards on the board, we're going to reverse.
What does a 5-year-old card do? Brain Blast.
Yeah.
Just found it real quick. But
it's a silly deck. This is really fun. It's surprisingly cheap.
Yeah. So, thanks for coming on the channel, explaining your deck, kind of the memes and the stories behind this stupid deck in the room.
Now that we're not going to Springfest and I'm not prepping for it, I can actually just take this out.
About
real
time,
cards.
Right?
It was always fun when it came up.
All right, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the channel, explaining your deck. You know, hopefully next tournament season, everything works out.
Yeah.
All right, this is Dylan Checkmate Vanguard signing off. Hey peeps, Dylan Checkmate Vanguard here. Cardfight Vanguard Overdress is now here. We look forward to releasing more deck profiles and epic matches this new year of Vanguard. Thanks to Rivals Gaming for the support, as well as our entire locals community.